good evening, good morning, or whatever time of day or night that it is. I want to welcome you to Geechee Lion's Journey. This is a special presentation of Geechee Lion's Journey. Thank you for finding my channel here. If you will, like, subscribe, and find something you think of worth of someone else, please share it and encourage them to do the same, to like, share, and subscribe. This is a special presentation. What I'm doing today, I want to kind of give a response to a vlog that was done by one of my top 5 Filipino vloggers. Namely, I'll get straightforward right to the point. You know, my 5 Filipino vloggers are Beauty, Sharon Lapu-Lapu, Rowena, Filipina Elated, Junabel, and Filipina Petite, Rika. Today I'm gonna respond to my take on Junabel. Junabel, Filipina Elated. She's done a couple of vlogs this week that I think are very relevant, and she always impresses me with her coverage of certain subject matters, and I want to specifically relate to her latest offerings, and it's namely the fears of a Filipina in dating a foreigner or considering dating a foreigner. That's the way she put it. That was the word. She didn't say relationship, but she said dating. So someone in her comments said, why don't you do one about the fears that a foreigner may have in dating a Filipina? So I'm doing that in response to that gentleman, but I wouldn't use that terminology. I would say, what would a man possibly be concerned with? What concerns would he have in considering dating a Filipino? And what I always say is dating a Filipino or having a relationship. I use the word relationship. Whether it be short-term, long-term, however you may characterize it. Vacation buddy, what have you. Or, considering for marriage, the whole spectrum. So that's what I want to deal with today. And I think she had 5 different areas that she dealt with, namely Junabel. I've thought about this, and I guess you can say I have 5. And I'm gonna deal with the first one kind of directly that she brought up, is the judgment of other people. I guess she's mainly talking about the judgment by other Filipinos and Filipinas there of a Filipina having a relationship, LDR or either in person, with a foreigner. In this case, I want to say not an Asian, but a Westerner. And usually when you think of a Westerner here, in this case, you think about a Caucasian man in this case. But of course, obviously, I'm not Caucasian. Now, I am part Caucasian. Now, let's get that straight. I am part Irish. But in this case, usually when somebody says an Afam, a foreigner, they're thinking about a white man. So the judgment is going to come, what Junabel is talking about, from other people observing their relationship. And I believe that their observation of the relationship is mainly going to depend on what type of person they are, what's in their head, in their mind, in their heart. Now, I want to relate this to a subject that was covered in church. I went to church here last Sunday, and my cousin, Elder Tyrone Parks, is the minister, the pastor, overseer, the shepherd of that church congregation. And he talked about envy and jealousy. So let's look at the judgment of people who are jealous. Now, the jealousy is going to come in if, let's go ahead and use Junabel for example. or any Filipina. There may be a Filipino man there that believes they have some type of claim on the Filipina's affections or what have you, okay? Or emotional entanglement or involvement or what have you. And they get jealous if they feel that there's some other man coming in this case the foreigner, who is a threat to take their Filipina away from them, or the Filipina that they perceive belongs to them. So they may get jealous, so you're going to have some judgment based on their perception that, hey, this man is coming and is a threat to take away something that I believe, in my mind, that is mine, whether I be delusional or insane or what have you, or not having it all together mentally. But that's a jealousy situation where you might see that judgment. How may they express that? We don't know. The other thing we were looking at is also envy. Envy, that means that they know they have no claim, no relationship with this Filipina, but they perceive them and they're looking at them and say, oh, she's fine, or she has this quality. I mean, I'd like to possibly court her or consider her for marriage or what have you. But you see this other man that's coming to court her, and you're envious, mainly your envy is directed toward that man because he has something that you want. He has it. In jealousy, you have it or think you have it. With envy, you know you don't have it, the other man has it, and you're envious and feeling bad toward him because he has something that you think that you would like to have, so you're envious. So there'll be some judgment there. The other type of judgment would be generally, you don't judge anything or anybody that you don't care about. So number one, if somebody is judging you, that means they care about you on some level. Now, if they dislike you, their judgment or their perception is going to be based on the fact that they don't like you. And if somebody does not like you, that means they probably do not wish you well, okay? On the other hand, if they like you, maybe it's a friend, a school buddy friend, or your actual blood relative. They like you. They care about your welfare. So they're looking at the judgment of, I think another way, is this person good, going to be good for my friend or my cousin or my niece or what have you. So there may be some judgment there. And I think in the case of that, if they believe that the person is possibly going to be a positive impact, have a positive impact on that Filipina, yeah, the judgment is not going to be any negative about it. They will actually come probably to support that situation. If they saw that, no, maybe this person is not going to be good for my loved one or the person that I'm concerned about, then you would have the judgment from that standpoint of, you know, somebody turning their nose up, either looking down on it with disgust or what have you. So again, we had the jealousy. They think in their mind, they think they had a Filipina, and they're jealous because they feel somebody's taking that Filipina away. Envy. They know they have no relationship with this Filipina, but they have ill will towards someone who thinks they have. Why does he have her? That should be mine. That's envy. And then the general like, dislike, whatever your personal relationship is between the would-be judger, or the person doing the judging, and the Filipina who is dating or a foreigner. So that's where your judgment will come in there. The other thing is the second, I'm going to kind of combine these here, is the fear, or not the fear, but a concern that a foreigner would have dealing with a Filipina. And this basically is on size. I'm going to say generally size and the physical differences. Now, We don't have to. We can just briefly touch on the fact. Obviously, they believe the perception is, and probably on average, it is true that a Westerner man from Europe or the United States, uh, their penis is going to be generally larger than what you would find mainly among the Filipino population, the Asian population, period. So I think there's a fear, I believe, young, sweet Junabel said something about, would you be able to handle it, or would it be too rough, or all this kind of stuff. So there's that difference. Would you be able to accommodate, as dear Sharon would say? Uh, they said, well, Filipinos are small but accommodating. So what she was getting to. We all adults here. But also with the physicality, men are taller than women anyway. But the Filipina is on the average, their average size is shorter in stature than in the West. So you're going to have a lot of situations where you have a 6 foot tall man and a woman, a Filipina, is going to be less than 5 foot tall. So you're talking about a 1 foot or more height difference. So again, that's not a fear. It's nothing you would fear, but it would be a concern. How would I interact with this person who is so much shorter than me? That's a consideration. Personal point of reference for me, my ex-wife was petite. And matter of fact, I think I'm 6 feet. I believe she's 4'11". So that's not an issue for me as far as a woman being below 5 feet. I've already dealt with that. But a foreigner may be considering that the woman that they want to deal with, they would like her to be maybe 5'4", like a couple of Filipinas. One particular Filipina I know that's 5'4". I'm not going to talk about her today. But again, if you have probably a 5'7" man or some 5'6", and they're dealing with a 5 foot tall Filipino or 5'1", that wouldn't be more of a fit to them. It's all in the mind of the beholder, and they have to make that judgment of how the height difference would impact themselves. The next thing would be the weight. Americans, especially, they have a high obesity rate among the males and specifically of the females. Now, one thing about dealing with a Filipino from the standpoint of a Westerner, you're going to be pretty much very easily able to avoid dealing with somebody that's obese because of the generally small stature of the Filipino. They don't have there are some obese and heavier weight people there in the Philippines, but nowhere near as what you're going to find in America. So the weight thing may not be much of a concern at all, because Filipinos are generally going to be smaller anyway in stature. Skin color. Now there's a thing, and this is I'm going to say it's the funniest thing, but it's not funny. If you look at the vlogs that's concerning the Filipinos and the perception of the foreigner, it seems that the Filipinos with the darker toned skin are more desirable. As far as from the Westerner standpoint. But from the Filipino standpoint, the Filipino culture, they tend to favor the lighter skinned people. That's why you have a lot of skin whitening products and all that over there. So it's kind of a mismatch, really. So the most desirable as far as skin color by the Filipinos would be the least desirable for the Filipino, but most favorable for the Westerner who like to tan and all of that. Again, that's a point of personal preference. Um, I would not restrict myself from a woman because of a skin color issue. Again, full disclosure, my ex-wife was quite fair skinned, and some people might have thought she was Asian or Latino or whatever. Um, but again, that's a physical difference. Is it a concern? No, it's not really a concern much. It's just a preference, and then it just may affect how that Westerner deals in the arena when he wants to date. Um, because the judgment is coming from mostly you talking about the Filipinos, and like I said, probably if it's a darker skinned Filipina, they probably don't care that much as if it's a lighter skinned Filipina because they, for whatever reason, hold, well, we know why, they hold the white skin or lighter skin as a higher value. And then the other physical thing, the concern, I would say, I want to put age in here. Maturity secondary, but I just want to say age. So full disclosure, I'm 63 years old. By the time I get to the Philippines, I'm going to be 64. Most of the chatter here on YouTube and social media about foreigner and Filipino relationships is age gap. Age gap is big. So when you talk about age gap, that's a very popular subject. So I'm 63, be 64, okay? Anybody that I'm looking at considering for a relationship, there's going to be an age gap of at least 20 years. I think the least age gap that I would consider would be 20 years, and it depends on who the woman is. And I do know a young lady who is quite exceptional, and I would definitely consider her for a relationship. That's a 40-year age gap. But that would be a concern, possibly, of the Westerner going to the Philippines. But from what you can tell, and this is again, I'm going to kind of bring this knowledge in here. Not every Filipina is interested in even dealing with a foreigner. I would say the default position, for the most part, a Filipino woman wants a relationship with a Filipino man. 95, 90 high percent of the time. There's only a small percentage of those who would even consider dealing with a foreigner. Okay? So that's where age, and then that's related to physicality and all that. They say age is number but a number, whatever. But that is consideration. I'm not going to say it's a fear. It's not a fear. It may be a concern that a person may have is, how am I going to deal with trying to court or date a woman that's, I'm in my 60s, and the woman I'm looking at is 22 years old, or she's 30 years old, early 30s, late 30s, and then, like I say, in the case of me, early 40s would be probably be the highest I would go. But that's more of a judgment call and a concern call that the individual foreigner and the Filipino would have to deal with personally in their individual case by case basis on this, really. The next part, I want to say this: being left. Junabel talked about, and I've heard this from other Filipinos, they're concerned about a man coming over there like on a vacation basis. They're only going to be there a month or less, and they try to get up something serious, maybe even pushing it to a physical, even sexual thing. And then at the end of the 30 days or less than 30 days, they've gone back to America, and they've more likely definitely left some type of hurt feeling, or having the woman miss their company and feeling down and out and feeling lacking and sad because and lonely, more lonely feelings coming because the guy, I enjoy myself so well, and then they're gone. And then even worse, you had the cases where the undercover and overt Pookie and Ray Ray come over there and impregnate a Filipina and then abandon her. I hate people men like that to the core. I mean, they should be killed. Anyway, I don't give a damn. I don't like that. It's one thing I've never cared for is for somebody to make somebody, play with a woman and then be so bad as to, even pregnate her and then just abandon her. I've seen too much of that. That's bad. So I can understand their fear of that happening to them. Now, we're not talking about that. I just wanted to set that up. We're talking about the concern of a foreigner. Now, I would say this. In my case, if you're a man who's looking to go over there to stay and to retire and reside there, you don't have that concern. That should alleviate the concern from the Filipina that you're going to just, be there and then run back to America and then you don't know what they're doing half a world away. You don't know whether they're dealing with another woman or, you can't really be with them to have that quality time and interaction with them. Wow, that was a B. And just a side note, I tell you, last time I saw a bee, I think I got stung by one, but for one reason I don't see. I digress. That was a bee, man. It was a bee right here, all right? If a foreigner is up front saying, hey, I believe a foreigner should just be up front. If they're there for a 2-week vacation, 3 weeks, they know that they're still working, they're not of retirement age and they have to come back to America, then that's something that's more so personal between them. I would say at least, men, you're going to do that, be up front. And then the Filipina knows that, and then, she's looking at it and coming into it with eyes wide open. Do I even want to get entangled with this guy at all? And I know he's getting ready to get on the plane and leave here. Okay? And I did find that out a little bit when I was on the dating sites, maybe around 3 years ago. For the short time that I was on Filipina Cupid or whatever I was on, one of the Filipinas I chatted, she basically said that, hey, are you coming here? And then when she found out and realized that I wasn't coming there, I think she blocked me. Which, again, that's an extreme case, but I can understand that because why waste your time? It's from a Filipina standpoint and you really want to be with him. And I say right on to that, I don't believe in the LDR either. And a woman that I want to deal with should not believe in no LDR either. I want to be able to see, feel, touch, smell, taste, experience the woman that I'm considering to be with me. I want to be there in person. I believe that's really the only way and the best way to go. Now, I can see doing the long distance thing, the chatting, video chat thing, the text chat thing, maybe for a few months, but with the knowledge that, hey, on such and such a date, 3 months down the road, 6 months down the road, I'm coming to the Philippines, what have you. If we've done this chat and communication for all this time and things still seem to be looking like it's on track with us, we'll really find that out, and you won't find that out until that foreigner is in the Philippines in person and they're dealing. So full disclosure with me, I'm going to the Philippines. Okay, so women, these Filipinas, you seeing me, this ain't gonna be no LDR situation. We may be chatting now. I'm looking for me to be shoes on the ground, plane touching down in September, okay? So there ain't gonna be no LDR. Be there in person. I had 3 of my top 5 vloggers said they are interested in interviewing me, but they only want to interview me in person. The last person to say this was Junabel. Fine, Junabel, hopefully we still, on good terms, and you still want to interview me when I come to Cebu City in September. Sharon has said she want to interview me. Rowena says she want to interview me. So I don't really think I brought it up to Rika and Rebuty, but I want to be there. So as far as the fear of being left, it's not a fear, it's a concern of whether I'm going to be leaving. Now, let me just say this. If it's a man, and I know I'm only going over there for the short term to see what I can get or whatever, my intentions are not the best they could be in that situation, that person is not going to give a damn whether they hurt a Filipina or her feelings about that. That person is not going to care. The only type person that's going to care is maybe somebody like me, as far as being concerned about hurting a Filipina in that way. But as far as being left, that ain't gonna happen. The next thing, English speaking. One thing about it, Filipinos, the national language is English, so that's not even a concern. I think you're going to be, I believe if a Filipino wants to deal with a foreigner, they're not going to be concerned about that, because that Filipino is going to do the best they can to learn that English. If they're interested enough in them, they will learn that English well enough to communicate. So I don't think that's even a concern at all. The last one is the past. Be upfront. Just like me. Hey, I have a daughter. She's an adult daughter. There was a fear. I just made a song called Love and Romance. There's been a Juliet, and surely there's been a Romeo. In other words, anybody you meet now that's 20 years or up, they've had a boyfriend or girlfriend, or maybe even multiple. Most of them, I would say, have had some kind of sexual experience or sexual encounter. And if you're a woman, that may have resulted in a pregnancy. You may have had a child or more by someone who you're no longer dealing with, someone you're not married to, what have you. So again, this is not so much of a concern. I would just believe this, that you should be honest about if you have children, say that. If you're previously married, say that. If you're a widow or widower, say that. Just be upfront about that. Children, don't be trying to hide children. Don't be trying to necessarily hide boyfriends. I'm not saying giving them the stroke by stroke analysis of your sexual experience. We ain't talking about that. But be upfront. Yeah, I had a boyfriend, it lasted, or I had a girlfriend, it lasted so many months. This was back in 2021, or this was 3 months ago. Yes, that does affect how a person will operate in the dating and relationship arena. So I think I've covered this again. The judgment of other people, as for me, I put it in my song, No Longer Quarantine. What you think about me, if I'm in the process of trying to deal with getting my love on and my groove on with my Filipina, I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn what you think about Mr. Imperial Brown, okay? Don't give a damn. Physical size. Physical size is what it is. The individual people have to determine whether it's okay with the height difference, the weight difference, the age gap, the skin color, okay? The physicality, okay? Men are naturally physically stronger than women. I mean, that's just nature. So that interaction between male and female, that's been going on from the beginning. Being left, again, be upfront about that, men, and make sure Filipinos be upfront about what you will tolerate. You trying to date to marry, and you know you do not want to move out of the Philippines, you can just eliminate all the guys that's taught this. First of all, not retirement age, or they have to leave and be in America to work. Eliminate them, so you ain't have to worry about that fear, because you will eliminate them. English is usually not going to be an issue. If you really want to communicate with somebody, if the love is that strong, you will learn enough English and Tagalog or whatever between you all to be able to communicate. And lastly, the past. Again, hey, you got children, on up. Previous relationship, on up. Like I said, I didn't say stroke by stroke analysis of what happened, but be upfront. I think that's the main thing here that I want to close with. Be honest, be genuine, be authentic, be upfront, be forthcoming about it. All right? Don't be deceitful, and that will help avoid, deter someone being hurt or misused or mishandled or whatever. Thank you. I'll hope that you got something out of this. I'm not meaning to offend nobody. I don't care about no disclaimer. Like I already said, I don't give a damn. But I want to just give you an example, and I just want to respond in the right way. So this has been Geechee Lion's journey. This is actually part of Geechee Lion's journey. This is part of my journey because I am journeying to the Philippines. I'm journeying to find love. I'm definitely seeing some women out there, some Filipinas out there that I like. There's certain things about them that they attract me especially. And starting with the top 5 Filipinas, there's something about each one of them that attracts me especially. All right? Like, share, subscribe to this channel. And if you want to support me, go to my website, ChilionsSoul.com. ChilionsSoul.com. That's the official website of Geechee Lion Music. Go over there and listen to some of my audio samples and buy something in our market. Thank you for listening. As I greet you in peace. Peace be unto you, and God bless. Love, love.